Hi, my name is Bryce. Welcome back to VHS Play, where we are playing The Legend of Dragoon and recording it all on VHS. What are we doing back in Tiberoa? Well, first of all, let's have a look at some things. I went and did a bunch of grinding again, and it does make me grumpy, so wah, I guess. I'll have more to say here in a second about the process of grinding and how the progression systems of this game leave much to be desired. Anyway, I think this is where we saved last time. Is it? Was it this one? I don't know. I've lost track. What episode number is this? This should be 62, which means we're saving here this time? Yeah, that's the plan. Anyway, so this should be where I saved last time on camera. Having to like work things back because I did some stuff. So first of all, I did cut in footage at the end of last episode about actually killing Faust because there really wasn't enough to like do it more on camera than just like putting the footage in of just like, hey, he's dead. So we'll point out that gold total there of like 20,000 and change. That is where I started on the world map, right? That's where that save was. I don't know. It's been a bit. Anyhow, so ultimately 20,000 gold, went off, bought those 2 legend cask helmets, which are ridiculous. That's the short version. Killed Faust. He was a much easier fight when you actually prepare and, you know, buy the anti-magic helmets. And also load Dart up with, you know, Dragon Helm. So he has more hit points by a fire margin because he already has a lot of hit points. I think... what save was this? I don't remember. Anyway, so save 11 was like the kind of in-progress save. Save 12 and onward is the grinding save times. And this is where it's like, okay, so this was the end of preparation, start of actually grinding. That sounds right. And again, notice that time of 65 hours and change, and here's the end of grinding and the save I just loaded. It's 71 hours. That's another 5 hours of grinding in this game. And honestly, the last hour of that is just going around and shopping because, again, you'll notice money. Money values. So, Faust dropped 10,000 money, which is great. I can go buy another legend cask, or what I did actually buy. Let's go ahead and start digging through items. I've gone on a shopping spree, and also that 5 hours of grinding got me enough money to basically just kit everyone out. So, can I see this in the status? Yes, here we go. So, the main reason that I did all of this grinding was to get everybody up to level 5 Dragoon level. So the last 2 were Kongol and Hashel, and I know I said I was going to leave all my negative comments and stuff and move on, but here's just kind of a last thing. The progression system in this game leaves a lot to be desired. So, Kongol, being a very slow character, only gets attacks every once in a while. Kongol also has garbage for additions. You'll notice that he's used Pursuit a whole lot and Inferno not a whole lot, and that's because Inferno's animations are really, really slow, and also, no matter what level Inferno is, he's only ever going to get 20 SP out of it. He does have a 3rd edition that I would have to finish Inferno and get that up to level 5 before he could unlock, and I was doing the actual physical real-world time math of, if I just stick with Pursuit and I get 50 SP each time. No, 50 SP is garbage at this point in the game. Like, compared to, you know, Perky Step is 100, Cool Boogie is 200, Flower Storm 200, you've got Rose over here getting 100 every time, you've got Blazing Dynamo with 150, and also those extremely large damage numbers on top of that, etc., etc., and additions cannot be used, but 225 each time because Miranda's special, and also not Shauna. I'm never going to let that go, am I? So anyway, the solution that I had for poor Kongol there's these bandit shoes which increase agility by 20 points. Those I threw onto Kongol just so he is not entirely super slow. It brought him up to average speed and as fast as base, the base dart. And then somewhere in here is a thing, I forget what it's called, I forget what it was. It's the War God Sash. It's the thing that just says like 50% SP increase or something like that. Or 50% more SP or whatever. Basically what it actually does is it increases your SP gains by 50%. Asterix, the math in this game is always weird and it rounds down. And the way the additions work for Kongol is his first hit of Pursuit gives him like 42 points of that 50 points. And then his next hit gives him the other 8. Something like that. So each of those hits grants 50% more. And the way the math rounds out is that he ends up only getting 74 points when he's gaining 50% more SP. It's, you know, a 1 point difference, but at the number of times that I have to get hits in as Kongol in order to gain SP, SP being the super secret value that levels up your Dragoon level, it sucks. It just turns into like, this is going to cost real world time, and that's about it. Towards the end of this, I had determined that the best way to like farm SP as just Kongol, because of course Kongol was the last one that needed anything. By the way, Kongol was at level 2 Dragoon level, and Hashel was at level 1. Hashel mastered level 5 before Kongol even got to level 4. That's pretty emblematic of the problems here. Of course, Hashel was using Summon 4 Gods, which, boy howdy, that phrase is now stuck in my head in the exact cadence in which he says it, because, you know, repeatedly doing it, which also doesn't do much damage, which is why he's just back on Double Punch, so that when, in case I ever have to use him, which, like, I don't know, there's, every time I've peeked in a guide for just, like, a little thing, there's always, like, a hint of just, like, hey, you want to get everybody up their Dragoon levels? And there I go saying Dragoon weird again. So anyway, that's why I did this, and partially just because, I don't know, it's a JRPG. You get to the end of the game and you just kind of want to, like, do the things because, even if it's really monotonous and the progression system is really weird and not great, and just is entirely based off of character speed and also some stupid numbers that they assign in this system that doesn't work very well and also doesn't work very well with the rest of the game. And that's the Legend of Dragoon. Anyway, there we go. That's enough complaining about that. Anyway, okay, so additions. We've got Dart on Blazing Whatever, Rose on Demon's Dance, we've got Hashel on Double Punch, we've got Albert on Flower Storm. Because he has his Mastered one, why not shoot for the stars here? Meru's on Perky Step, and Kongol's back on Pursuit, and has always been on Pursuit except for these 8 attacks where I did Inferno. Also, because I was using the War God Sash accessory with Kongol, that meant I couldn't use the War God Calling, but also in order to maximize SP gains, I sometimes wanted to not actually follow up the second hit of Pursuit, because the first hit does a majority of the SP gains, so for enemies that are going to die in 2 hits when I'm hitting with both hits of Pursuit, hitting them with a half hit of Pursuit and then another half hit of Pursuit, more SP. Anyway, so that's the 5 hours that I spent grinding this game to get that stuff. Now then, let's talk about gear, because that's the other big thing. Like I said, I got 10,000 money from Faust, and I got almost right around another 10,000 money from my 5 hours of grinding, standing around in a desert mostly, and doing some other stuff, whatever. This is already 10 minutes in, we've stared at menus. I'm going to shut up sometime and move the plot forward, I swear. But first, so, Dart, mostly the same. He's got his fairy sword, he's back on the Phoenix Plume. Okay, so, for the Legend cast, I mentioned this earlier, where Rose and Miranda, I gave them Legend Cask, and they are still using those because you'll notice down there in the bottom left, the MAV, or Magic Evasion, Magic Avoid? MAV is Magic Evasion percent. That is just the percent chance that they will just not get hit by stuff. As you can see, that's 55%. 50% of which is coming specifically from that hat. Also, their magic defense, like 127 points coming from that hat. So, yeah, it kind of shut down Faust real hard. Meanwhile, Dart had the Dragon, I think it's just Dragon Helm, which increases his health by 50%, so that meant that he could take those very large hits, and because the other two didn't have to worry about things, it meant that Dart was the only one I had to, you know, monitor his health for, and he had a very large pool. That's how you dealt, that's how to deal with Faust. Aside from that, it's just like physical attacks and not magic, hooray. Fairy Sword, current best sword. Phoenix Plume prevents mental, they call them calamities, apparently. Bad status effects of the mental variety. Armor of Yore prevents bad statics of the physical variety. Dart, currently immune to all physical stuff. Bandit Shoes increases his agility by 20 points, and some other stuff, I guess. Ultimate War God, I don't have to play the game. Rose, Gladius, has a chance to just instantly kill things, apparently. Also, best sword for the current moment, and will be until, like, super endgame, I guess. Probably. Legend Cask is anti-magic helmet. Again, huge magic defense, and also just a 50% chance to just say, nah, I don't wanna. Robe, it's armor. It will be replaced pretty soon, it sounds like. Dancer's Shoes increases agility by 20 points. And some other stuff. Ultimate War God, I don't have to play the game. We'll skip over to Miranda because she makes up the third part of my party because, you know, Shauna, not Shauna. Anyway, bow for current best gear. Legend Cask is the anti-magic thing. Armor of Legend. So that 10,000, half of the 20,000 money I had after all the grinding and killing Faust, I spent 10,000 of that on this Armor of Legend, which is the Legend Cask, but armor and also physical mode. So you'll notice her her regular defense has just like a 127 sitting there in the in that column for weapon. Yeah, that's all coming from her armor, I do believe. Also 50% chance to just say no to physical attacks. So Miranda sitting there pretty with a, you know, 55% chance to just say no to damage. I think that's neat. She's also the healer, so I no longer have to worry about her dying pretty much ever, except to instant death, which is still going to be a problem and annoying, I'm sure. And I'm sure it will come up again at some point just to ruin all of my plans. And she's got the mage ring for that, that MP regeneration. Kongal. Axe. Best axe that you can get right now. Later axes are at the end of the game, it sounds like. Giganto Helm, Giganto Armor because he's Giganto, which is just about the best stuff he can use, but also it's just like, he's Giganto, give him his Giganto stuff until he replaces it with, you know, the super duper end game gear stuff. By the way, these magical greaves, that's a common theme for everybody that doesn't have the agility up boots. Those provide a 5% chance to avoid magic and physical. So, well, hey, there's that 5% chance on top of the 50 and other 50, so hooray for Miranda. Kongal, also, I've given everybody else the Sage's Cloak. That was something that was in Ulara that I wanted to pick up at some point and never did. So Magical Greaves are basically endgame boots. Sage's Cloak is just a, hey, here's just a 20% chance to avoid physical and magic damage. So, well, hey, everybody has at least a 25% chance to not get hit, or at least, you know, these folks that are not usually in my party. And then you've got Dart over here with his, nah, I'm just gonna face tank it. Is there really anything else that needs to be said about any of this stuff? Dragon Helm on Meru and Albert, because Meru really needs the HP boost, and Albert's pretty alright, and Kongal doesn't need the more hit points. He's also got that Giganto Helm that is specific to him. They have armor that is around. Haschel, his weapon actually could be upgraded for straight up damage. It would also change his attack type to thunder. However, I have left him with the brass knuckle because it has a chance to instantly just kill things. So just in case he gets thrown into a fight against minor enemies, he can do something about it. So basically, I have the full party kitted out. Everybody's Dragoon level 5. Most of them have mastered all of their additions, excluding Haschel and Kongol, and everybody is kitted out with some pretty good gear, and we're going to get better stuff as we go on throughout the rest of the game. There is one other thing, and that is just a nice little moment of delight that we're going to get to share. Do buttons down here. Hey, I went and part of my grinding was done in the home of Gigantos, where there are these enemies called piggies, and piggies have a chance to drop these magic, or the sachets, which means we can go kill some rare spawn enemies. I did get 2 sachets, did one of these on my own, and it was just like, no, that was delightful. I need to get this on camera. So please join me as we run through town to get to the other side. It's going to take a couple minutes to get there because of loading and loading and more loading. We're almost there. We go. And now we have to run through a couple of screens, talk to a guy, go through some more screens, talk to another person, say, yes, we went on the boat, get on the boat, and then finally we can go try to, fish up one of those rainbow birds. I did also spend some time grinding on one of the routes where one of the rare spawns is supposed to show up. They did not. And I got tired of running back and forth and went back to the desert where I could just stand there and get my fights without having to move. And it's also way faster between fights, etc., etc. And also the fights are tougher, and therefore they, last longer, which means that I'm spending less time watching the inter-fight animation and more time actually doing the things what get me SP, and therefore Dragoon levels. These progression systems in this game leave much to be desired. Anyway, bird. And now that we're looking for a bird, it's probably just going to be all mermaids. Hey, there we go. It's a bird. And of course he runs away. He knows. Oh, that was almost 20 minutes of staring at menus and rambling. I'm sorry, but also, it's JRPGs, and, the stats and menus and junk are kind of, the stuff. So, it's fine. You're not a mermaid, or a bird. Missing in this game is still the most unsatisfying thing. I am somewhat tempted to pull Meru into the party as the healer, but okay, so here's the thing. Meru's healing is still good, solid healing for the entire party across the board, etc. The problem is it doesn't do, resurrection as far as I can tell, which means that we would be entirely reliant on those angel prayer items, and that's no fun. So I'd rather not. Hey, it's another bird. Please don't run away. Thank you. Oh, that is so satisfying. There we go. Palette is cleansed. Here's a bunch of experience for our trouble. Dart's up to level 40 now, which is, he was supposed to get to around level 35 for Faust, which is, a super boss that's supposed to be harder than in-game stuff. So I think we're good. Um, and also, we still have, like, all of our best armor to get, apparently. And for most characters, it sounds like that's soon. Not Kongal, I'm pretty sure. This game hates certain characters. I'm, like, really, really... It's just upsetting. Oh, also, while I was grinding, I managed to crash the game. So I'm curious if I could repeat the trick, because I think I have a suspicion of what happened. So potential repro steps of a game crashing bug. Kongal was in my third party slot. Haschel was in second party slot. I went into a fight. Had Kongal do Dragoon mode. Is there a save point? I don't remember. Let's save real quick. And then we'll go to the city. I had Kongal use Dragoon stuff and do an attack, and attack very quickly and therefore poorly. I then had Dart use an SP potion on Kongal, who would then have been back up to maximum Dragoon power. Pay attention to my saves for a second. Alright. And then Haschel's turn came up. I hit attack, and then suddenly Haschel was a Dragoon, and in Dragoon mode attack ring time, and I hit like the first attack. Wasn't really paying attention until it's like, wait a minute, why is the game stopped? And also, why is Haschel a Dragoon? So Haschel somehow managed to turn into a Dragoon, and also hitting buttons with the ring. Like, I don't think he was transformed fully. I think there was something wrong, or like, hey, this animation doesn't exist on this character model. I don't know. That's my theory, is by restoring Kongal's SP to full while he was a Dragoon, that set in motion things what then got confused and turned Haschel into a Dragoon when he was not a Dragoon, giving him the Dragoon attack ring, but the animations were not loaded, or like, you know, he doesn't have wings, so those animation bones don't exist. You know, stuff like that. Anyway, it's only 20 minutes in. Let's start the episode. Hi, my name is Bryce. Welcome back to VHS Play. We're actually going towards the end game of heckin' Legend of Dragoon. The law prohibits humans from going to the Signet Sphere, thus the flying disc cannot be used. So is the Signet Sphere ahead? Wingly Code Article 703, the law prohibits non-winglies from going to the Signet Sphere. I'm a wingly. No magic power as a wingly is recognized. Hey, what do you mean? Wait. Means that my father cannot pass here. Yeah, that's right. Means we still have time left. Wingly Code Article blah 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 blah. No, get out. Leave. Screw you, human. Hey, here's my save point. Well, we already saved. It's fine. Warning, under martial law, visitation allowed only on to Legislation Center, Law Factory, and Law Launcher, Great Court, Residential Area, Power Room are off limits. Can't we go to the place where the Signet Sphere is? Impossible. The law prohibits humans from going to the Signet Sphere. Impossible. The law prohibits humans from going to the Signet Sphere. It seems that it's a waste to talk to them. Let's focus on how we can proceed. Okay. It seems we can decide the destination with this operation counter. Determine the destination. Let's go to the Law Factory. Decision confirmed. Wingly Amendment Code Article 339, usage by non-winglies of shops is not prohibited. Use shop. Which shop is to be used? Alright, cool. So that shop is in fact immediately here. So here's everybody's real good armor, by the way. So hey, let's do that, I suppose. Yep. 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 Okay, so there's 4 out of our 7. The other 3 will come later, I guess. But well, hey, that means that we're even further, even further stacked on power here. I might swap. I'm considering swapping Dart back to the Armor of Yore just because it does prevent the physical ailments. Also, Great Axe, better axe for Kongol. Hooray. I wasn't sure when that was going to happen, but there we go. Now everybody has their own thing. Try to drop my controller real quick. So again, the each Dragoon armor nullifies the element flavor that they are associated with. So that's no fire damage for Dart, no dark damage for Rose, no wind damage for Albert, no water damage for Meru, which would be cool, and also would actually supposedly help with Faust. It seems like he has a tendency to... How much are we losing there? 41 and 50... 6 points and 5 points. The only thing that really sucks, stun's kind of sucky, but arm blocking is what really sucks. But we still have the Phoenix Plume to cover like all the mental status, so we'll leave him with regular. Every time I see Rose's health now, I am a little concerned just because it is quite so low, but she's fine. We'll double check the item shop, but I don't expect there to be really much of anything that I care about in here. Boy, charm potions. I looked away during that loading screen to steal a sip of water. I looked back and I saw all of the teleports again. I am displeased. Anyhow. Why did I come to this menu? I was going to look at something, I think, but then I forgot, so heck it. So, something I had been considering. Yeet. Are we arrested? Darn, what timing? Everybody's feeling the same way. We have to focus on how to get out of here. It seems that they arrest people and send them here. But it seems there's no device to get out of here. Maybe no exit? I don't want to think about a room without an exit. Wait a minute, didn't we forget somebody? Sorry, Kongol is late. Kongol? Why was Kongol outside? Kongo don't know. It's simple. He was too heavy to teleport. Now we can get out. It's a cute little scene, feels derogatory. Not derogatory, derisive? That's the one. Birds. Did I finish that thought about Faust? That thought being that Faust tends to target people with the element that they are. That ain't it. I've been using speed up so much. It's just like in my brain now. Anyway, that was the thought. Faust tends to target people with the element that they are for his magic, so apparently that makes the Dragoon armors actually like really quite good against him. I didn't want to go forward, apparently, the one whole room, because I wasn't sure how far I would have to go forward to get the armors, and also, you know, we hadn't done that yet, so it seemed like it would be better to just do things, and then, you know, onward. Anyway, what's in the box? Is it garbage? It's probably garbage. It's mild garbage. Hey, thing. Found people to which Wingley Code Article 659 applies. Oh, also, apparently, we, Brain, why do you keep doing this? I keep having thoughts and they keep just, like, vanishing completely. Flying Disc Teleportation Center, blah, 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 blah. Alright, we're gonna try this Law Center again. Wingly amended Code Article 339 uses by not only the shop is prohibited. Not prohibited? Anyway. Okay, so we need to avoid the little thingama creatures? Well, that simply won't do. I left a treasure chest behind. Good to know that I am, in fact, as fast as they are. You can come all the way over here, then. Rude. Back to square one again. Give Congo a break. Oh, hello, wizards, and also bird. I know, they're throwing cards. Boo. It's a pretty good attack name. Should have attacked the other one, but whatever. It's fine. Okay, so here's a thing, and it's just kind of a thing that, you know, I've definitely come to realize with this game and the plentiful grinding that I've done. It really is obnoxious is the word for it. I was trying to find a better word, but no, obnoxious is the word. It is really obnoxious that the abilities which might end a fight in fewer turns are not always the fastest abilities to use. This goes back to the, you know, me complaining about animations taking forever. But ultimately, like, it is really frustrating that, like, having Miranda do a whole transformation and all of that nonsense. I win. For garbage. Anyway, frustrating that these spells, which might do more damage and whatnot and could potentially clear the field in like one hit, might actually just be slower than doing not that. Doing less powerful things with slower or with faster animations. Alright, now we can move on. Submit law production license issued by Legislation Center. A law production license? What is it talking about? If you don't have one, step back. You are hindering fulfillment of the quota. You apparently hit X again. You must talk to me again. Alright. So, we need a law license to yeet a law. It's just gonna be faster to get caught. So we need to get ourselves a license for law and then take it to the factory. I'm really tempted to switch Miranda out for Marrow for a while. I'm so torn on it. Decision confirmed. So I have been determined to like Shauna the entire time, and also not Shauna, I suppose. However, like, Miranda's inability to deal damage is just kind of a largely a bummer. And it's like her primary function is healing. It's probably garbage anyway. Just catch me. We're going back towards the item shop where I can sell some of the items that they keep yeeting upon me instead of throwing them out. Because, you know what? That money might actually come in handy later. I do kind of want to get in, like, one more fight just to let Miranda, you know, charge back up. The other problem is I don't have... I would have to play the game. Let's not do that. If I did switch out Meru for Miranda, I would have to actually, like, interact with the whole, you know, timed hit system, which, I mean, it's fine, but also I just, like, I don't want to have to pay that much attention to the game right now. I just want to get through it. Shop. Doesn't matter. Well, the psychedelic bomb is worth a whole 10. It's like all of our hopes and dreams and whatever, all of that amounts to 10 whole money. All right. Cool. Garbage. Okay, so the blue ones work with, like, kind of a line of sight sort of situation. McGrath law! Any objection to this bill? None. Thus, punishment for the law issued. Next deliberation. Winley Code Article 640. Those who disturb order shall be ignored without exception. Is applied. Form line for the service. Any objection to this bill? None. Thus, veneration. Blah, 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 blah. Law issue precise and. Any objection to this bill? None. Thus, all land shall be something. Do they say next? For service, stand in the center. Is this submission of a bill? Yes. Submit it at once. Oh, wait a minute. We want to go where the signet sphere is. Waste of time. Leave promptly. Next. Alright. I guess we need to go to the law launcher then. Catch me. Give me a break. Give me a break. Give me a break. Hey, it's Congo there. Okay. Please, sir, I want to go to the law launcher. Yeah, there were doors on both sides. Well, at least that's a real item. They sure are throwing a lot of these attack items at me. Hello? You are at the flying disc station in front of the launcher. Wait for your turn. Oh. I was expecting for there to be, like, a thing in front of me. Submit a law launching license issued by Law Factory. Law launching license? Is there anything... Is anything required... Let's try that again. Is anything required to have a license here? If you don't have one, step back. You are hindering fulfillment of the quota. Okay, so thus far, everything has been, you need a license. I am legitimately not sure if we now have information. Again, the enemy design in this game has been really quite fantastic. Just a guillotine, not even... Absolutely no hiding it. Just, hey, here's a guillotine on wheels run by a skeleton on top. You're at the place. I really do not know. I guess we'll try the legislation center again. Maybe we'll say no instead of yes. Is this a revision of the law? Yes? State the number of the article to be... Oh, even we can change the law. It is revised if necessary. State the number of the article to be revisited. State the first digit from the left. Oh, jeez. I think it was 703. Wingley Code Article 703, Deliberation on Revision of the Law Prohibiting Non-Wingleys from Going to the Signet Sphere. Wingley Amend Code Article 703, the law does not prohibit non-Wingleys from going to the Signet Sphere. Law Production License is issued. Take this to the Law Factory. Next deliberation. Curious if I can change that law, like 659 or whatever. I'm just gonna be clicking around with my other hand while I get caught on purpose, mostly. Back to square one. Hey, it's Kongle. Hey. Hey. Found people to which code 659 applies. Okay, I'm just going to read through things because I don't think I care. So, I'm right. 703 will give us the access to, like, advance the story. 666 stops all minor battles, which would be kind of neat, but also meh. 659, which is the one for, you know, the guards and stuff, does in fact remove the guards. 640 allows you to skip standing in line to wait for other creatures in the legislative center, so that would actually be kind of nice. And 339 allows access to the item store, which is not necessary. Cool. I guess. Okay, so we need to go to the Law Factory to get this minted, and then I guess we have to launch it afterwards, probably. Submit a law production license issued by Legislation Center. Law production license. This should be it. Understood. Launching of law is required for the enforcement of law. Law launching license is issued. Take this to the law launcher. When the process is completed, step back. You are hindering fulfillment of the quota. Complaints shall be brought to the Legislation Center. Neat. Quite frankly, I'm like quite okay with like all of this city. Like, this is it's annoying in a way that's entertaining. It's like, it is thematically annoying because it's just like bureaucracy run rampant. It's very much like the planet of bureaucrats from the from Futurama. It's very much that sort of just like absurdist nonsense of bureaucracy. It's also interesting that it has, like, those specific rewards of, like, if you've been paying attention to, like, all of the, if you've been paying attention to all of the law numbers, and you want to spend the time waiting in line, or just breaking the law to the point that you no longer have to wait in line. That's pretty neat. Submit law launching license issued by Law Factory. Law launching license, this should be it. Understood. The law will be enforced. When the process is completed, step back. You are hindering fulfillment of the quota. Complaints shall be brought to the Law Factory. Alright, I do think this will be faster if I just get caught. Alright, so we've changed the law. We can now access the Signet Sphere, which also means that, you know, Zeeg can too. Good job, team. He's probably, you know, already there, twirling his mustache and other such villainy. Dart, why do you keep doing this? Okay, so I am torn on whether or not I want to call it an episode. Like, there's a save point right here. I've been going for an hour. Granted, the first 20 minutes of that was me ranting and raving about menus and junk. But also, I don't know how hefty, like, story stuff is going to be coming up immediately after this, so I think we'll call it here, and then next time we will take care of whatever happens at the Signet Sphere, which is probably going to be Zeeg's already there, and we turned off the law, so he's allowed in. Good job, dum-dums. But hey, we're back onto forward progression. No more side quests, no more cleaning up. Just going through to the end of the game at this point. So, well, hey, good stuff. Huh. I know, it just hit me that it's like, I'm almost done with this game. Oh, anyway, thank you very much for watching. I've been Bryce, this has been VHS Play. Have yourself a lovely evening.